It's Jillian here, the Artistic Associate at TheatreWorks USA and your virtual teaching artist. Today, we're going to take an underwater look at how to make and bring a puppet to life. In TheatreWorks USA's The Pout-Pout Fish musical, the story is told using beautiful large puppets designed by Matt Atchison and Fergus Walsh of Atchison & Walsh Studios. Today, they're going to take you inside the world of puppet design and teach you how to make and bring to life your very own Pout-Pout Fish puppets. Let's take a look.
My name is Fergus and I'm one of the puppet designers on the Pout-Pout Fish show produced by TheatreWorks USA. And today I'm going to show you how you can make your own Pout-Pout Fish. The first thing you're going to need is the pattern, which you can print from the website. And if you don't have a printer, then just get yourself a blank sheet of paper and a pencil or a Sharpie, and I'll show you how to make your own pattern. Later on, you're also going to need an insert from a toilet roll. You're going to need some tape. I really like using masking tape, but you could also use sellotape. You're going to need a scissors, and a Sharpie and a pencil, and you're going to need some cardboard. I'm going to use a cereal box, but if you don't have a cereal box, you could use some sheets of foam, fun foam, or you could use some cardstock or some colored paper. But if you want to do it like I'm doing it, you could just use your cereal box because that's a good thickness of cardboard that we can use. I'm also going to use a roll of kitchen paper, or you could use toilet paper as well. In fact, we're not going to use a roll, we're just going to use a very small piece of it. So kitchen paper or toilet roll, and we just tore off quite a small piece that we're going to use later on. So like I said, if you don't have the pattern and you can't print it off, then you can make your own pattern. And here's how you can draw it. First of all, draw a large C shape, just like that. And then in the opposite direction, draw a slightly smaller backwards C shape. And that's the Pout-Pout Fish's body. And then you can draw two straight lines to make his tail, and then you could draw a little shape like his tail fins, something like that. And what you could do is you could look at your Pout-Pout Fish book to see what his tail fins look like to get those shapes. So that's our basic Pout-Pout Fish body pattern. Then the other pattern we're going to need is this one for his face. So in order to draw this, I'm going to draw a square. Like that. And then I'm going to draw a little rectangle over here. And another little rectangle down here. And then I'm going to draw another slightly larger rectangle all the way here, like that. Then I'm going to draw a triangle right down here. And I'm going to draw another triangle here, like that. And that's the basic pattern for the Pout-Pout Fish's face. And then the other two patterns we need are for his fin. So again, you could take a look at the Pout-Pout Fish book that you have and draw a fin shape, something like this. He has like three little kind of finger fins, like that. And then finally, a pattern for his hair. So I'm going to draw that, something like that. So if you don't have the pattern that you can print off on your printer, then you can make your own pattern just like that. So now I'm going to take my pattern piece and I'm going to cut it out, or ask somebody to help me to cut it out with my scissors. Okay, there's the face pattern cut out. Now I'm going to cut out the body pattern. There's the Pout-Pout body pattern cut out. Now I'm going to cut out his fin. Fin pattern. And finally, I'm going to cut out his hair pattern. And there's the hair pattern. So with my patterns cut out, I'm now going to trace these patterns onto my piece of cardboard. And this is the cereal box that I showed you earlier. I'm going to place the pattern onto the cereal box, and I'm going to draw around the pattern with my pencil or my Sharpie. I'm going to trace and draw around the outline of each of the pieces of the pattern onto the cardboard. So now I have all my pattern pieces traced out onto the cardboard. There's the body traced out. Here's the fin, and you'll see that I actually did the fin twice. Here's the first one and here's the second one. And when I was doing the first one, I traced it with this shape facing upwards, and then I turned this around and traced it the opposite direction. And I'll tell you why I did that later on. One fin is for the right hand side and one fin is for the left hand side. So I wonder, can you guess why I turned it upside down to do the second one? I also traced out the hair piece, and then I did that 3 times because I'm giving him 3 pieces of hair. And for the face pattern, I traced it out like that, and then again I turned the pattern upside down and I traced it out a second time. There's one part of the face is for the right hand side and one part of the face is for the left hand side. And now I'm going to cut out the pieces that I traced with my scissors. Again, I'm being careful. When you use the scissors, you have to be very careful so you don't cut yourself. And there's the body pattern cut out. So you can see the box of cereal on this side, but that's okay because we can paint it later on. Okay, so now I have cut out all of the pieces from the cardboard. I'm going to put the camera down here so I can show you them properly. So we've got the body, we've got one face piece, and we've got the other face piece. We've got 3 hair pieces, 1, 2, 3, and we've got 1, 2 fin pieces. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the roll, the insert from the toilet paper roll, and we're going to cut out a piece of it. So I'm going to make it about the width of 2 of my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to mark the width of about 2 of my fingers. I'm going to mark it here. And then I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to cut it out right on that mark. Okay, so I have a smaller piece of the toilet paper roll and we're going to use that for Pout-Pout's tail. So put that over here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tape, and why I like using masking tape is that it's really easy to tear pieces of it. You don't actually need a scissors at all. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear a lot of pieces of masking tape because that's going to come in real helpful when we start putting Pout-Pout together, to have all these pieces of tape ready to go, so that we're not fumbling around trying to find the tape when we're putting Pout-Pout together. So that's 10 pieces of tape, 11 pieces, 12 pieces. I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to need, but let's see if that's enough for now. So now I'm taking one side of Pout-Pout's face and I'm going to make some folds. These 4 little squares or rectangles that are on the piece are called tabs, and I'm going to fold them, and I'm also going to fold the piece in half. Where there's a little triangle here, I'm going to start folding the piece at that triangle until it reaches the other side. So you see, like that. Kind of folded it, and I'm going to press it down, make sure it's folded nicely, because one part of this is going to be the front of Pout-Pout's face. And then for these tabs, these ones here, I'm going to fold them down like that. And on the other two, I'm going to fold them out the other direction. Like that. And then the final fold I'm going to do is just here where the 2 pieces are separated. I'm going to fold this piece back in just a little bit. It's going to help us make the shape of Pout-Pout's face. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side of his face. So now we're going to start putting Pout-Pout together. We're going to use the body piece on one of the face pieces that we just folded. And we're also going to use some of that tape that we ripped up earlier on. So we're going to start at the top of Pout-Pout. The top of his head, there's a little point up here, and that's the top. And we're going to take the piece that we've bent earlier on, and we're going to hold it up together like that. And we're going to use some of the tape to attach them together. So we're putting the tape on that tab up at the top of Pout-Pout's head. And then we're going to do the same on the second tab, which is going to be down near his nose. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same on the other side for the other part of his face. Okay. So we're going to start up the top. We're going to get some tape. We're going to tape the tab down. And then you go down to where his nose is. And we're going to get some more tape. This is why we cut it all out earlier on. We're going to tape it on like that. And then you can put some more tape in the middle as well, just to help them stay together. Okay. Then we're going to go onto one side of Pout-Pout, and we're going to start making his mouth section. And you'll see on the body pattern that there's a little point down here. So we're going to tape the underside of his mouth to that little point. Like that. And then the other tab we're going to tape down also. Hold it in place. On the body side, I'm going to do a little bit more taping down. And you'll see that there's a lip that's sticking out here. That's okay, we want that lip to stick out because we're going to make his pouty lip in a moment. So then we're going to turn him around and do the same on the other side. I'm going to hold this piece down. Tape it down. And then we have one final tab. And we're going to tape that tab down as well. Okay. And now I'm going to put on Pout-Pout's fins. So we had them cut out earlier on. And the fins get attached to the back of his headpiece here. So that they're sticking out a little bit. See, like that. Again, I'm going to use some tape. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tape over the fin first of all, kind of the end of the fin where it's a rectangular piece. And then I'm going to slide that inside his head and press the tape down so that the fin is sticking out. I actually might even bend the fin out a little bit so that from the front you can see it nicely. And do the same on the other side. I like the rounded part of the fin up top, and that's why we cut out two fins earlier on and turned one upside down so that they both end up with the same shape. So some tape there. And then slide it into the inside of his head, because he's got a large head, so there's plenty of room for the fins. And then, oops, put that tape on properly, and then bend out the fin a little bit so you can see his fins from the front. And that's how you do his fins. And then we're going to do his hair the same way. He's got different pieces of hair, so I'm going to get some tape. I'm going to put the tape on the bottom part of the hair, and then let me see this done away. Like that. So that's one piece of hair. Another piece of hair. And the third piece of hair. And what you can do is, once the hair is taped on there, you can bend it a little bit so that it's sticking out in all different directions. And so that one's a little bit floppy, which is kind of fun. So now we've got his fins and his hair. The next thing we're going to do is put on his tail piece. So you remember earlier on we cut out a small piece of the toilet paper roll. We're going to put that onto his body now. And for this, we're just going to squeeze his tail a little bit. It won't hurt him too much. Won't hurt him at all, actually. And then we're going to push the toilet paper roll in over his tail. And we can bend the tail back up again. And the toilet paper roll sits there nicely, creating the back of his body. Like that. So now we have Pout-Pout's body made. Next thing we're going to do is make his eyes. So earlier on we tore off a piece of kitchen paper, and I'm going to tear it in half again, and I'm going to bundle it up into a ball shape. This is going to be one of his eyes, something like that. And then I'm going to use a piece of tape just to hold the whole ball together. And I'm going to do the same for the other eye. Bundling it up into a ball kind of shape. Doesn't have to be perfectly round. And then use a piece of tape just to hold it together at the back. And we have two Pout-Pout eyes. And then, in order to stick them onto his face, I'm going to get another piece of tape here. I'm going to fold the tape over on itself so that there's a little roll of tape with the sticky side facing out, and I'm going to put that on the back of the eye so it sticks to the back of the eye, but because the sticky side is facing out all the way around, I can also use it to stick it onto his face. Press down, there's one eye. So again, piece of tape, roll it on itself with the sticky side facing out, and push it onto the back of the eye, and then push it onto Pout-Pout's face. And then what I like to do is to give him his pupils. I'm going to use a Sharpie for that. I'm going to look to see where his pupils be. I'm going to make sure they're facing forward. I'm just going to draw a circle for his pupil, like that. And do the same on the other side. And you want to make sure the pupils face forward so Pout-Pout can look forward, so he needs to know what he's swimming towards when he's swimming. And there's Pout-Pout's eyes. So now he has a pouty lip, he has nice big eyes, he's got fins, he's got his hair pieces, he's got his tail. So the next thing is to make him swim. Well, actually no, the next thing is to paint him, or to color him in. If you want to, you can leave him like this if you like, or you can use some paints if you have paints, and you can paint his body, or you could use some coloring markers, you know, like these ones, and you could color in the cardboard. I made a different Pout-Pout earlier on, and you see on this side that Pout-Pout is purple. I had some purple cardboard that I used, and so I didn't paint this side yet. When I painted this side to make him a blue Pout-Pout, and I used paints to do that. For this one as well, I had some feathers, so I did some feathers for his hair. Instead of using the hair pattern, I just stuck some feathers onto the top, and that makes a nice movement for his hair. So that's another thing you could do. Instead of using the pattern for the hair, you could use feathers for his hair. And as I said, you could paint him. You can paint him different colors. I'm in the middle of making a green Pout-Pout as well. The Pout-Pout can be any color you want. I haven't finished this one yet. So I've got a blue one, and a kind of a purple one, and a green one. I've got a kind of a brown one. I can paint this brown one too. So you can do all sorts of colors in order to finish Pout-Pout however you like. So once you have your Pout-Pout fish made, the next thing you can do is to make him swim. So to make him swim, you need to become like a puppeteer, like the puppeteers you're going to see or you've already seen in the Pout-Pout Fish show. And what we do as puppeteers is we take objects like this that we've made, and then we bring them to life. So for Pout-Pout, for this Pout-Pout, I like holding him with one hand down here underneath his chin, and on the other hand I like to hold him, let me see, I think I'll hold him back here in his tail, but you can hold him anywhere you want. And then to make him swim, because we gave him this nice flexible cardboard body, and you can rotate your hands back and forth and see how he moves his tail to help him swim. Actually, I think I like holding him down here actually. Yeah, now he's swimming. He's gone. Where'd he go? Pout-Pout, here you go. You can do the sounds too. How does Pout-Pout go? He goes blub, blub, blub. You can also make Pout-Pout swim really fast, like this. Oh, I didn't even see him. Or like this. Oh, wow, he's fast. Or he can swim normal speed. Or he can swim slow. He can swim going downwards. Or he can swim going up. Blob. So you can have great fun making Pout-Pout fish come alive. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure when you make your own Pout-Pout fish that you take some photos and that you send them to us, because we'd like to see all the fish that you're making. Thanks. Bye-bye. Blob. Blob.
All right, that's all for today, but we hope you had fun, learned something new, and feel inspired to go out and get creative on your own today. Because remember, theater works anywhere.
Anything is possible from any place you are. You can spend time with a friend, even if they're near or super far. Our ideas combine, we can go online with stories that we all can share. Because theater works anywhere. Theater works anywhere. Theater works anywhere.